and simply rest in awareness, then there's a break and the hook isn't so strong. I went to a gathering with a few friends who are also very COVID conscious. So, and we were distant. But one of them was saying that she just had to go shopping. She just had to go shopping. And for 3 days, she went for shopping places. And then on Wednesday, when the sky was so covered with orange, and it just looked like the apocalypse, that was the day that I returned home. She said, I was standing in downtown, and I said, what are you doing? And I just stood there, and I just stayed in awareness. And I realized I needed to just go home and have a cup of tea. So I think sometimes we need some comfort, and we need to tend to our needs so that we are not spiraling down. And dropping into our meditation every day, recognizing the suffering that we experience, accepting the suffering that we experience, really recognizing it, looking at it, seeing it. So I'm finding that I don't have my energy to do anything, to go out and do what I usually like to do, do a little work in the garden or take a walk. I'm not feeling that, I'm not feeling energetic. And I was reading about the effects of smoke. And one of them is to have low energy. So I thought, okay, I can blame my malaise on smoke. But at any rate, we are very fortunate to have an opportunity to recognize, to see what's arising, and then not be hooked by it, not be hooked. It's that grasping. When we talk about the 12 links of dependent origination that Lama Tsongkhapa said, try to realize dependent arising, how it is that because we believe that what we see is true, we create actions that plant seeds in the mental continuum. These seeds ripen, name and form, we label it. The 6 senses come in contact. A feeling arises. This feeling, it's either positive, it's negative, or it's neutral. We pay no attention really to the neutral feelings that are arising, but the positive ones we gravitate toward. There's a slight leaning in, and the negative ones we back away, try to change. So this is a craving that develops from a feeling, and that craving we grow. Thinking about it over and over again. I want or I don't want. So we grow it, and it becomes an irresistible urge to grasp it or to be completely free of it. And that leads to becoming the one who is free of it or has it. And this particular link, the 10th link of becoming or existence, sometimes called existence, when this is activated at the time of death, that's what pushes us into the next rebirth. This grasping, this irresistible urge to become someone, which leads to rebirth. And then we go through the cycle of aging and death. So this happens not just life to life, but it happens moment to moment. This is why it's important to look, to be aware, to be mindful, to be present in our life. And then, understanding how mind works, we have an opportunity to do something to counter whatever grasping is happening, to cut it, to just cut it right there. When we see the feeling arising, It doesn't mean that you can't enjoy. We should enjoy. As much as possible, we should enjoy, just without the grasping. Not to allow the grasping to say, oh, I must have that, or I must be free of that. And then to engage in activities that could be harmful. So we have to be cognizant of our actions. And this is what I wanted to speak a little bit about today, because we talked about the fact that we have this precious human life, right? We have a precious human life. Here we are, and we're going to lose it. We're definitely going to die. We've talked about those first two. Those are the two thoughts that lead us to live an ethical life, to have a good future rebirth. And then on top of that, we think about karma and the suffering of samsara in general. And those two thoughts lead us to wish to be free of cyclic existence entirely, to be liberated, to develop this spirit of definite emergence. So understanding how karma works is absolutely critical. That lamas always talk about karma and emptiness together. Yes, everything is empty, and yet the wind blows and the leaves fall. So to understand that everything works, everything has a cause, and every cause has a result. So when we understand that positive actions create positive results, then we mind our karmic garden, and we engage in activities that bring benefit to ourselves and to others. So understanding that karma, or our actions, are definite. The result is definite. It will produce a result unless we engage in mitigating circumstances. So perhaps a purification practice if we have engaged in some harmful action. But also, when we do good deeds, it continues to grow. This is to really think about why that's true. Not to just take it as, okay, karma's definite. If you plant an acorn, you'll get an oak tree, not an apple tree. So this is to think about our actions when we engage in positive actions, how it is that the goodness of that action grows. Think about that. And think about when you engage in a negative action, an action that ultimately produces harm, then why does that grow? I've often thought about it in terms of, for instance, telling a lie. Maybe it's just a simple lie, not a very, super bad lie, but just simple. And then you have no immediate repercussion other than you didn't get caught. Your mother said, "Did you do this?" And you say, "No, I didn't." But then because you didn't get caught, it was easy to do that. And then it's easy to do it again. This is why it's important to really watch, to really see, to know what the repercussions are for our actions so that we can tend the garden. Because when we engage in positive actions, we can go to sleep at night with a very clean conscience. And if we have engaged in a hurtful action, we can engage in the four opponent powers. We can engage in recognizing. This is why when we go to sleep at night, we look at what have I done today that was good, and rejoice in that, because that creates the cause to do it again. More goodness. Modern neuroscience bears this out. Every action creates a neural pathway or deepens a current one. So that works that way. And if we have done a negative action, it's like filling in the neural pathway by having regret for doing that action. And then having a remedy. What's going to be my remedy to actually do something about it? So I'm going to take refuge in what I know to be goodness. I'm going to take refuge in my Dharma practice. And then I'm going to engage in perhaps in reciting some mantras, or the best, I think, is to actually try to right the wrong, to confess the wrong, if it's possible and it's not going to create difficulty. But when you recognize that you've made a mistake and you have regret for it, and then you take refuge in your practice, recognizing that this is a karmic action that will produce a result, and I don't want a negative result. I want to do something that will fix that will remedy that. So we engage in an activity that is a positive activity for the purpose of remedying that specific one. And then we make a resolve not to do that again. So we're actually erasing that action. And if we recognize how the mind works, that the mind is merely pure, clear awareness, it's clear and knowing. When we know that, we don't have to hold on to some negative aspect, saying, oh, that was bad. I did that bad thing. I shouldn't have done that bad thing. I'm a bad person. You see, when you purify it, you can let go of that. You can become a non-doer of that activity. I find it so helpful when I do prostrations to the 35 Buddhas in the morning. At the end of that practice and at the end of Vajrasattva practice, to sit and really think, now, totally pure, completely pure. This mind, totally pure. And rejoicing in that. So it changes our world. It purifies the mind and changes our world, because our world comes from our mind. So understanding karma is a very critical. It's critical to be able to cut, to be able to create nirvana, to cut samsara, to engage in positive actions and purify the negative actions. So the result of karma is similar to the cause. If we lie, then our speech loses its power. People don't believe us. If we harm, then we will be harmed. And the interesting karma doesn't necessarily run even in this lifetime. So we sometimes wonder why it is that good things happen to seemingly harmful people, or bad things happen to good people. It's a ripening of previous seeds that have been planted. Being able to embrace that and understand that, it helps me to be able to bear difficulty, to say, okay, I created the cause to experience this result, therefore I accept, and now I want to engage in the opposite activity to create the cause for something different, to ripen in the future. But we're really in control. And this is what's so beautiful about karma, is that we can create a beautiful world, a beautiful future, through the power of minding our karmic garden. And when we begin to think less and less of what I want and more about how I can help you, it's easier to let go of grasping onto something that we think we want, that perhaps someone else has. Because we're now beginning to think more about others and less about ourselves. So the whole thing works in a very symbiotic way. The practice works. And for us to be aware of our actions, just to be aware, and then to apply an antidote in the moment, to begin to just say, oh, we might say, that's simply merely labeled by my mind. It's not inherently repulsive or inherently desirable. Then there's a little bit of space, a little bit to be able to apply discerning wisdom. So we engage in our practices in order to grow that awareness, to grow our mindfulness, to grow our every moment knowing what's arising. So maybe we will sit. Yes, that's what we're meant to do, isn't it? So find your meditation seat, if you will, settling in. Allowing your spine to lengthen and straighten. Sitting in a posture of dignity. And notice how the mind is brightened and more energetic. And at the same time, we want to be relaxed. So we allow our awareness to come to our crown and begin to float down. Softening the brow, around the eyes, your jaw, into your neck, and across your shoulders. Wherever you find tension, simply breathing in and allowing it to release. Floating down your arms, to the tips of your fingers. And then down your torso, noticing your upper back and your chest. Your small of your back, all the way to your sit bones. Let your belly be soft to welcome a full breath, like filling a vase. And then floating down your legs, past your knees, all the way to the soles of your feet and the tips of your toes. Feeling places where your body touches the seat, the cushion. A sense of being grounded here in this moment. Safely held by Mother Earth, which we share with every living being. Feeling sensations of the breath in the body, moment by moment. Then perhaps fine-tune your awareness to come to the sensation of the breath at the tip of the nose, right there like a sentry at the gate. As the breath flows in and out and back in again. We come to spiritual practice to gain knowledge that will reliably produce happiness and eliminate suffering. This is our wish. And it is the wish of every living being to have happiness. And my own happiness is dependent. It is interconnected with all other beings. It is as if we are each one in a small boat on a stormy sea, looking for a safe harbor. We want to guide all beings into that safe harbor. We want to reach enlightenment in order to lead all beings there. So we turn for refuge to that which we believe will protect ourself and all beings. I go for refuge until enlightenment to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha by my virtuous actions of giving and so on. May I become a Buddha to benefit all beings. I go for refuge until enlightenment to the mind of enlightenment, to seeing emptiness directly, and to the Arya beings who have. May I become a Buddha to benefit all beings. I go for refuge until enlightenment, with confidence in the knowledge that the nature of my own mind is wisdom. Its expression is clarity, and its compassion is all pervasive. May I become a Buddha to benefit all beings. May all beings abide in equanimity, free of attachment and aversion. May all beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May all beings be free of suffering and the causes of suffering. May all beings find good rebirths and the bliss of liberation. I will help us to have these. Please, Guru Buddha, bless me to be able to do this. And now Shakyamuni Buddha, our own Guru in the aspect of Shakyamuni Buddha, appears before us. And we can think that we are surrounded by all the sentient beings that we long to free. And just as we are blessed, so too are all living beings. Oh, magnificent and precious root Guru, please abide on the lotus and moon seat above my head. Guide me with your great kindness and grant me realizations of your holy body, speech, and mind. And we make this request, allowing light rays and nectar to flow down through Shakyamuni Buddha's holy body and entering our crown and filling our body with this blissful nectar. May I be inspired by Guru devotion. May I be uplifted by the preciousness of this human life. Shed the fetters of attachment and aversion through a knowledge of impermanence. May I be protected by refuge, guided by a knowledge of actions and their results. May I aim for liberation through renunciation. May I be motivated by bodhicitta, opened by giving, disciplined by ethical behavior, strengthened by patience, enthused by joyous effort, stabilized by concentration, and freed by wisdom. Allow that nectar to continue to flow. Coming down and totally purifying every mistake you ever made. It's like a psychic shower, and it is a healing as well. Let it come into your body. Let it go to those places that need attention, soothing. Let it do the same to all beings. Freeing us of fundamental ignorance, this misknowing, believing in the true existence of self and phenomena. Completely purifying our ignorant desire, believing that persons, places, and things have some inherently desirable quality that we wish to possess. Coming from its own side. Let this light purify. Let it flow down to your heart and purify ignorant hatred. Believing that anything has some inherent repulsive quality, and therefore we wish to be free. Let it continue to flow down, completely purify jealousy, envy, miserliness. Let it come all the way to the ground and purify ignorant pride, holding oneself as higher than, better than, center. Experience it flowing from Shakyamuni Buddha's heart down through the body all the way to the tips of your toes. And let it spread. And feel your whole body filled with white, purifying light. Body, speech, and mind completely purified by Guru Shakyamuni Buddha's loving wisdom. And make this request. Oh, magnificent and precious root Guru, please abide on the lotus and moon seat at my heart. Guide me with your great kindness and stay with me always until I attain enlightenment. And Shakyamuni Buddha melts into a small sphere of light. Comes to our crown, descends down, coming to rest at our heart center in this totally purified body, speech, and mind. And allow this sphere of light to be in the nature of love. And conjoining with the breath as you inhale, let that light be energized. And as you exhale, allow it to expand, this warm, loving light. Golden, blissful, let it fill you up. And know that you are loved. How wonderful to be loved and to love. Wishing oneself and all beings to have happiness and all its causes. As the light continues to be energized and to expand, it becomes uncontainable. And we allow it to pass through our pores, experiencing the sensation of being absolutely surrounded by this love. creating an aura of light around us that continues to expand. Wherever your mind's eye goes, remove the suffering and fill the beings with love. Take away the fire. Take away the pain of loss and give comfort. Those who have lost their lives, the animals, the humans, give them fortunate rebirths. Those who are ill and who fear becoming ill, give everyone well-being and health. The caregivers and the firefighters, give them strength. Let your love grow. Let it expand out to cover the whole planet. Every time you inhale, it becomes energized. It is an inexhaustible resource. Let it fill you with bliss. Allow your awareness now to continue to expand out into space. to the infinitude of space. And then to gradually contract back. And like fog in the sunlight, all concepts dissolve. And you simply rest in naked, pure awareness. Without grasping anything. A pure, luminous manifestation of awakened awareness. And if it is helpful to have an anchor, your breath is always available. Cultivating present moment awareness. Letting thoughts and feelings and emotions arise, change, and dissolve. Remaining presently aware. The knowing of knowing. Looking at awareness itself. And then gently begin to come back into your body, feeling your hands and your feet. Let's see. You have some reflections on that meditation that you want to share? Do you find is there some aspect of meditation that helps you stay anchored? Do you know what I mean? Uh, is it easier to remain present when you are engaged in an analytical meditation or a review meditation where you're actually using your mind to go to places, to give love, to take away pain? Is it easier to stay present within that meditation, or is it easier with being on the breath, or how is it with being in just awareness?
It is easier with analytical meditation.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
We're guiding the mind to do this and to do that. Yes. Whereas
Mm-hmm.
then when you stop, it wants to go out and do something, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And do you find that it's more pleasant then to do this more analysis, this engaged? How does the body feel? I mean, is there a sensation in the body when you're engaging in that meditation, Henny?
Um, it's it's pleasant. Um, and in terms of in the body, um, I was very comfortable, at ease, and I wouldn't say that I'm more comfortable doing the analytical meditation. However, it was easier. It's yeah. I I go off more when it's awareness,
Mhm.
especially.
Yeah. Yes. It's a training, it is a training. We just keep coming back again and again and again. Hello, my friend. Here we are, right here. Here we are. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyway, good, good. Anybody have any questions or comments?
Hi, I have a question. This is Seema. I thank you for your talk. I had a question about, like the purification part of karma, um, you know, easing your mind of guilt and
Yes.
things like that. Because I've been thinking about something recently a lot in a relationship
Mhm.
and a friendship. And, you know, I have a tendency to want to make my amends and fix it and do all that good stuff because I don't want to feel that pain.
Yes. Yes.
But what I'm exploring now is to feel the pain, and maybe there is no right or wrong. There is no need for an amends. There may or may not be. That's not the issue. And I was listening to some Pima Children today a little bit about how how do I say this? Not being so trying to break that habit, because it's a habit. It's my tendency to feel very guilty. It just comes really easy to me. But then I can go to the extreme and the ego, well, it's not my fault, that I can do that too. It's like two sides of the same coin, they say, right? I don't know if I'm making sense.
Yes, 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 yes.
So I guess what I'm trying to say is, how do I know when, this layman's terms, when to make amends, or when, and not let those feelings dictate, because I can't always, I don't want to say I can't always trust them. I can, because in Buddhism we are trusting our intuition. But how do I know not to trust that habit? It's a habit that I'm doing rather than the actual, basis of what's going on underneath. Does that make sense?
Yes, I think so. I think so. But sometimes we have a perception that we've harmed, a perception that we've said something stupid, or we've said something that we wish we wouldn't have said. And it's maybe it wasn't that at all. Maybe it was actually welcomed. So it's hard to know. It's really looking at what is the motivation. You see, check to see what is my intention for saying these, for behaving that way, saying that thing. Why? What is it? So it's really looking at our motivation for doing that. And if we have a motivation, we see maybe it's we feel less than, and so we need to puff up. Or I mean, there are many reasons why we engage in actions with our speech, or usually for us, it's mostly speech that we're harming. So it's checking what is your motivation. But I always feel that in the moment, if you see, you say, well, why do I feel guilty about that? Well, because I saw that there was pain. I saw that she was unhappy, or he was unhappy. Now, there is that other side of the coin where maybe that needed to be said.
Right.
And come to another side of it, but that requires a conversation, and it's really a matter of owning your own stuff. It's looking at that and being able to share it, to be able to say it. I feel like I want to fix everything. So you have a conversation about it. If it's a friend, you have a conversation about how it is. And now I feel guilty because I did that, and I'm trying to do something different. Will you help me? So I'm not sure if that helps, but
yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
looking at our intention, I think is
yeah.
where we begin.
I think sometimes I will do it. It's like a defense mechanism when I feel like I'm being attacked, and I'm already feeling shameful about something. So in that respect, yeah, that's probably something that I need to look. It's hard work.
It is hard
Yeah.
work. It is hard work. It is. And really, if you think what I want is for you to be happy. Okay, I want you to be happy, because if we are right, we're being defensive and we're feeling right, self-righteous, there's a very good word, self-righteous. There's a self there that we're clinging to, and that is the one that we're trying to dissolve, that, grasping onto that. So it's really taking a look at that and being able to see why it is that who is it that's defensive? Well, who is that one? I say, take it to the mat. When you have a situation that is, you're churning, go to your cushion and try to find the one who's having that experience.
Okay.
See what happens. You might be surprised.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we have come to that place where I don't like to keep you over, because I think, well, if we're on time, then we'll continue. Okay, so let's dedicate all this good energy. All right, let's do that. And let me see if I can find it again. There it is. Did I share it? There it is. Okay. Because Angela is on a cell phone because Vajrapani doesn't have internet, then I have to do the screen sharing. So that's a challenge. All right, so let's just think of the fact that we did create this positive energy. And because we did create it, we put it in the bank so that it's never lost. It's never lost, it can only grow, all right? By merit of this virtue, may I become Buddha and lead all beings, everyone, into that enlightened state. May the precious Bodhi mind not yet born arise and grow, and may that born not decline, but increase more and more. May all beings everywhere, plagued by sufferings of body and mind, find an ocean of happiness and joy by virtue of my merit. May no living creature suffer, commit evil, or ever fall ill. May no one be afraid or belittled with a mind weighed down by depression. May the blind see forms, the deaf hear sounds. May those whose bodies are worn with toil be restored on finding repose. May the naked find clothing, the hungry find food. May the thirsty find water and delicious drinks. May the poor find wealth, those weak with sorrow find joy. May the forlorn find hope, constant happiness and prosperity. May there be timely rains and bountiful harvests. May all medicines be effective and wholesome prayers bear fruit. May all who are sick and ill quickly be freed from their ailments. Whatever diseases there are in the world, may they never occur again. May the frightened cease to be afraid, and those bound be freed. May the powerless find power, and may people think of benefiting each other. As long as space remains, as long as sentient beings remain, there too may I remain to dispel the misery of the world. And then let's also dedicate, please, to the long lives of all of our holy masters. And to anyone in our life who is unwell in the moment in body or mind. May they be well.